Hi guys, it's Lynn with Curiosity Crochet, and I thought we would do a tutorial today. I don't have a complete hat because the one we're going to make I made for an order. So the picture will be in the thumbnail so you'll see it, but I don't have it to show here. It's a fun hat. It's a little asymmetrical. It sits real cute. I thought you guys would enjoy it. It's not real hard. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. We're going to make the whole hat together today. I'm not doing a little one. So let's get started. So for this project, I'm using this Big Twist yarn, Big Twist Soft, because there's a couple different. These are from Joann's. Now, if you've seen my videos, not happy with Joann's, but just their online. I like their store, and you can get this in store. It's a 4-weight. It recommends a 6, so I'm going to use a 6. And it is machine wash and dry, so for a hat, that's perfect. And this one here is 100% acrylic, and I'm going to use 2 colors. I suggest using 2 colors because there's 2 parts to it. So we're going to make the hat part, and then there's going to be some accent to it, which I'm going to use the gray for. So the purple will be the main hat, and then the gray will be the accent. Of course, you need your scissors and a tapestry needle to finish up your project. I don't think that there's much else to say about that because we're just going to jump into this because I would like to get this done for you guys. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to just jump in and get started. How does that sound? So get your main color ready for your hat. Now, let me go over this though. You can use any 4-weight yarn, but if you've watched any of my other videos, especially for hats, not all 4 weights are created equal. So you just kind of have to adjust accordingly. This is a pretty fair 4-weight that'll match pretty much anything. So I think you'll be safe if you use any 4-weight. I think it'll turn out the same. I wouldn't suggest using any other weight yarn on this particular project. So just get yourself some 4-weight yarn, a size 6 hook, and we will make this together. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. Now for this, let me check my notes. Hold on one second. Okay guys, I don't know what I did, but I thought I hit record and I didn't. But we're going to do 60 chains plus 1, so it'll be 61. So what you want is a multiple of 3 plus 1. With a 4-weight, 60 seems to be a pretty good number to do for your diameter. But if you're making it for a specific person, I would measure the head and then make the amount of chains and measure that, because that'll be the diameter of the head. If you're making it just to make it with me, go ahead and make 61 chains. We'll meet back and we're going to make a ring and go from there. Okay, I have my 61 chains. Now, the one thing I want to tell you is some yarn is stretchier than others. So you don't want to make the chain too long either. Like if you're making it for somebody, what I suggest is if it's a real stretchy yarn and you can kind of tell after you make the chain when you yank on it, I would make it just a couple inches shorter than what your measurements were. Just so that it doesn't turn out too big, because with hats you want them to start out a little tight so that there's room for it to stretch out, because it will stretch out. So now what we're going to do, once you have your 61 chains, we are going to follow this down all the way to the end, but I like to run my thumb down it so that it doesn't get twisted, because you don't want it twisted. We want a perfect ring. And we're going to come down here to the first chain that we made. We're going to go in there and we're going to slip stitch this together. Well, we're going to try. I lost my spot there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. Now this first row is just like a base. So we're just going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. Now remember, where we slip stitched, you need to get a stitch in there because that's your first chain. So you want to go in there and put your first double and then make your way around. Now you can do the back loop for the bottom of this, you know, like if you turn it over and use these back bumps. Today I'm just doing it regular, just to get through this video for you guys. And I'm crocheting over my end there, but you can kind of do this first part however you want to. I grabbed the yarn I was working over. So go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each chain all the way across, and then I'll meet you back when we get over on this side. Okay, when we come back around, make sure you don't miss this last chain here, and you should have the same amount of stitches that you had chains that you chained. So just make sure you count to make sure, because on your first row that's where it counts the most. And what we're going to do is come over here and slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. And now this row we're going to do is basically the row you're going to do every time, because it's 1 row repeat, so it's pretty easy. But I'm going to get you started, and then I'll show you the second row, and then I'll let you go. We'll get our hats made. So you want to chain 2, and don't worry about this chain here. We want to go around this one. We're going to do a front post. So you're going to yarn over and go in the side, come underneath, and do your double crochet. So that's your front post. And then, so skip that one behind it, and then we're going to skip one more, and we're going to put double crochet in the top of that next stitch. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to do a double crochet in the one we skipped, but we're going to come up and go behind. Instead of going in this way, instead of going in the front way, we're going to come up and go from behind and do our double crochet. So then you're going to skip those 2 and put your front post double crochet. So that's what you're going to do, is you're going to front post and then the cross, and then a front post and then a cross. So let's do that again. So you can kind of see which one you're skipping because it pulls on it, and then it shows you the next, you know, like it pops open the next stitch. So that's the one we're going to skip, and we're going to put our double crochet in the next, and then come back and go from behind and finish our double, then skip these 2 and put our front post. I want to do it a couple more times with you guys. So you're going to skip this one, and then we're going to put a double in the next, in the top of it, and then we're going to come back to the one we skipped, and we're going to go from behind and do our double crochet. Skip these 2 and do our front post. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around, and then I'll meet you when we're coming back at the end here, and I'll show you how we're going to finish and start the next row. Okay, if all things worked out properly, you should have your last 3 stitches here after your post, and we're going to put that cross in there, and then your last stitch right here will be your front post. And then we're gonna slip stitch in the top of that first front post. Now that first row is always a little hard to get going because you have to really pay attention where you're going with it. But now this is where it gets easy. So you're gonna start with your chain 2, and we're just gonna front post around the front post, and then put our twists above our twists That is literally all we're going to do. All the way around, over and over again, till we get our hat to the size we want it to be. Now, this is made to be a beanie. So tight on the head and it not slouchy, not anything. So I brought it to about 6.5 inches tall, and then we're going to do the closing. So I would say anywhere between 6 and 7 inches, and then we'll do the closing, and then we'll add the accents to it, because there's 2 pieces we have to add to each side, and then there's a flower to add. So this project's a little bit, you know, got steps to it, but it'll be really pretty at the end of it. It'll be worth it. So I just want you to repeat this row that, you know, now the front post and cross above each one of them, and just repeat that over and over until you get between 6 and 7 inches tall. And then we'll meet back and we'll close it up, and then we'll go to the next step. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back. A pin in this for now. And I'm going to have all kinds to... Okay guys, I got my main part of my hat done. Now, one thing I want to tell you is I designed this to be a little bit shorter of a hat, because it's not supposed to be like a heavy winter hat. I'm using a little bit thicker of a yarn this time, because when I made it the first 2 times I used thinner 4-weight, and it wasn't real thick. This one's going to be pretty thick. But so anyways, I brought this one to 5 inches high. So you can do it anywhere between 5 and 6, I guess, and it would still be okay. Because the part that we're going to add on around the bottom part that gives it the actual design is asymmetrical. So the one part comes down a little bit. So you don't want this part to be too long, because we still have to do the closing and then add the stuff on the bottom and the flower. So we're going to start closing it up now. And we're going to chain 2, just like always. We're going to put our front post double around that first one, and then across the next 2, the crossed ones, we're going to put these together. So you're going to go in and pull up a loop, pull through 2, and leave it, and then yarn over, go into the next one, pull up, pull through 2, pull through all 3. So now you have 2 together there. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the post, and then we're going to put these 2 together. So 1 around the post, and then the next 2 together. So you're still going around the post. You're just bringing the 2 that you crossed together. So that'll start bringing it in a little bit. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I'll meet you when we're coming back around. Okay, we're coming back around. We're going to do this last 2 together. And then we've got our last post. We're going to do that, and then we're going to slip stitch to that first front post. Now what we're going to do is something a little different, just so that we can pull these together. So we're going to chain 2 again. We're going to go around this front post, and we're going to pull up a loop, and we're going to pull through 2, and we're going to leave it. And then we're going to jump to this stitch that we made here from the 2 together, and we're going to yarn over and go on the top of that, pull through 2, pull through 3. So we're putting the front post and the stitch after it together. So you're going around 1 for the post, pulling through 2, and then you're going to the top of the next one and pulling through 2, pulling that. See, so then we keep our posts, and it doesn't give us a different kind of top. So you're going around the post, pulling through and pulling through 2, yarn over and go into the top of the next stitch where we put 2 together, pull through 2, and then pull through 3. And this is going to pull it in even more. Okay, so go around and do that. Around the post and top of the next one. Around the post and top of the next one. And just 2 together that way. And I'll meet you when we're coming back around. Okay, and then when you come around, you'll have this post and this one here. You're going to put them together, and then we're going to go around this last post and just do a double. And then we're going to slip stitch in the top of that first stitch that we did. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to bring the posts together. So we're going to chain our 2. We're going to go around this post. Now, because we put 2 together, you want to get around all of this, because now this is one stitch. So you want to get around all of that and do half of it, and then go around the next clump. So you don't want to just get around this first part. You want to go around this whole thing and grab your second half, pull through 2, pull through 3. Okay, so remember, you're going through around this whole thing here, yarning over, going around this whole thing, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, and then jump to the next, go around that whole thing, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 3. Let's do that one more time, and then I'm going to let you finish. So remember, this whole, you want to go underneath this whole thing here. Yarn over, go underneath, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, the next one, go around the whole thing, pull through 2, pull through 3. And this is going to really pull it together. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you when we're coming back around. Okay, now we've got our last 2 here that we're going to finish up. And then we have that last post. So we're just going to go around that last post because we don't want to leave a stitch out. And then we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to slip stitch in the top of that first stitch. Now, at this point, this is pretty small. You could probably close this up. If you want it a little smaller before you close it up, you could do one more round of just putting the posts together. But I think I'm going to close it from here. So I'm going to do my little trick. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to come in from behind, go through this first one and grab the loop and pull it through. So now it's on the inside, and I'm going to do this and pull up a long strand so that I can close it up. And my scissors are not here. Boop, be right back. Well, my green needle has gone missing, my trusty green one. Not happy about that. But at least I found my scissors. I need to stop taking my stuff with me wherever I go, because then things just end up missing. But anyways, so I'm going to turn this inside out, because I just like the way it turns out better when you turn it inside out to close it. Some people, if they're going to put a pom-pom or something on a hat, it doesn't matter what the top looks like, but there's nothing going to be on the top of this hat, so I'm just going to go from the inside. You can do it however you'd like to. I'm just going to show you how I do it. I'm already coming through this hole, so I'm going to jump to the, not hole, stitch. So I'm going to jump to the next one over, and I'm going to go in and out. So I'm going to go in and then come out the next. And then I'm going to jump to the next, and I'm going to go in and come out the next. I think I was out of shot. Sorry, guys. So jump to the next stitch and go in and come out the next. So you're going around the post of that stitch, basically. So go in and out, in, and then out the next, and then in and out the next. And that brings you back to the beginning. You pull it tight, And now I'm going to go across this way, and I'm going to go across the opposite way. And make sure when you're doing this, you're keeping it pulled tight, or else it'll just come loose. And then I'm going to go across this way one more time. And then one more time this way. And then when I do this one, I'm going to leave a little loop instead of pulling it all the way through. And I'm going to come through that hole and just make it kind of like a knot. And then I'm just going to sew this end in wherever, get in where you fit in. I'm going to bring it down a little bit so that I can do it in the stitches down here. So then I'm going to go across these stitches and just make it nice and hidden and tight, and make sure nothing falls apart. And my dogs are barking at what? I have no idea. And I'm an over hider of the ends because I'm always so afraid it's gonna fall apart. And my dogs are barking. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. My dogs were barking at the FedEx man because how dare he come here and deliver packages. But we live all together with my dad, and he has started this old man thing of ordering. He is an online shopper. I don't know what he bought this time, but 2 big heavy packages. I'm out of breath. Anyways, we're going to turn this right side out. And now you've got your little top part of your hat. Now it should fit where it kind of hits the top of your ears right here. And we're going to add the accents now. So you want to grab your other color that you're going to use, because I do suggest using 2 colors for this. Now you could even use 3, like if you wanted to do the flower a different color, but something that goes good with the colors you're using, that would be pretty too. But I really suggest having this in different colors, or you won't really see the difference between everything. Sorry, I'm getting my yarn set up here. But I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook to start out with. And you can really find any spot and start there, because we're going to create the sides. Like right now, this hat has no sides. It's just all one hat, you know, like it all looks the same. It's universal. I am going to start right around here where those 2 posts kind of match up where the chain 2s were. That's where I'm going to start. And I'm just going to find, because I didn't do the 3rd loop, so I'm just going to find a stitch here and go in and start this. So we're going to slip stitch this on here. Okay, we're going to chain 1, we're going to go in here, and we're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you want to do 10 more, so you want 20. You want 20 single crochets, and then we're gonna turn it and we're gonna do some decreasing. So go ahead and do 10 more single crochets and I'll meet you back. Okay, now that you've got your 20 single crochets, we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, and then in these first 2 we're going to bring them together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, pull up a loop, go into the next one, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. And I crocheted this in, but it left a little end, so I'm going to get rid of that because it'll bug me. Whoo, you guys, I get so bugged. We're going to also bring the next 2 together. We're going to go in 1, we're going to go in the next one, We're going to pull through all 3. And now we're just going to finish it out. So we had 20 and we put 4 together. So we have 16 left. So we're going to go and just put 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches. We'll just go across together. I'm kind of quiet today. I have been so tired, and 4th of July was like a war zone. It was so loud here. I don't know about you guys, but woo! That was a long night. Okay, now that we've made it to the end, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now, we're going to go across again. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we're going to put these last 4 together. So you're going to do 14 single crochets, and then we're going to put 2 together again. So you just start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And now you should have 4 stitches, and we're going to put them together. So the first 2 we're going to do pull up, pull through 3, and then the same thing on this side. Now when we get this piece done, we're going to fold it up this way, and we're going to sew it to attach it. We don't need it too high, but we got to get it higher than this. So we're going to chain 1 and turn it again. And we're always going to be doing the decreases on one side because we're just bringing one side in. So again, we're going to go in and do 2 together, but this time we're just going to do 1. And then we're going to finish out the row. We don't have to do too many rows of this, so this last part will go pretty quick compared to the rest of the hat. It's just probably the sewing part will be, I don't know, it's not that hard though either, because you're just sewing the ends to the hat, so I think you guys will be okay. Nothing about this is that hard. Okay, chain 1 and turn your work again. And we're going to go across until we have 4 stitches left. I should count so you guys know, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How? 1, 2. You guys, just go down until you have 2 stitches left. I'm sorry, I didn't mean 4. 2 stitches left. Because we're just putting 2 together now for the next few rows. So just work your way all the way down. The hat keeps moving on me. Until you have 2 stitches left. And when you get down here, you're going to put those last 2 stitches together. You're going to chain 1. We're going to do 1 more row and see where we're at. We're going to put the first 2 together. We're going to finish the row. The other side of this hat is a little bit more complex, I guess, but it's not hard, and I'm going to show you because this side's fairly easy. We just make this like flap, we move it up and sew it on. The other side, it's the way we have to fold it to make it look the way I designed it. So let me look at this. We want to go a few more rows. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back this way, and we're still going to do the same thing. You're going to go across until you have 2 stitches left and put those together. You're going to turn it, and you're going to start with 2 together and finish out the row. So I want you to do this 3 more times. So you're going to go this way, you're going to come back, and you're going to come this way, and we'll see where we're at. I think we're going to be okay with 3 more rows, but we'll see where we're at. Go ahead and do that 3 times. Remember, go this way till you have 2, put the 2 together. Chain 1, turn, put 2 together, finish the row, and then come back this way 1 more time till there's 2 left, put 2 together, and then we'll meet up. Okay, now this is what we've got. This is the one side of the hat, and what we're going to do is we're going to detach now, because I think this is good. It comes in this way, and we've got a little bit of something to go in on. Now, another option that you can do, because I made this hat a couple times and I did it twice. Now, you can do it like this, or you can go across a couple more times, but bring this side in too, and you'll have more of a point. I like this look where there's more of a square on this side and it's coming in this way. So it's up to you. You can do like 1 or 2 more rows and bring this side in a little bit and bring this to a point, and that'll work too. So it's up to you. It's your preference. It's your hat. So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to tie off here. And what I like to do is go into this spot here and slip stitch, and then, you know, leave yourself some, because we're going to use this to sew it in. And you probably don't need a ton, but I'm an overestimator. I don't know. I'm an overachiever. Now don't get rid of that yarn, because we got to do the other side, and then we're going to make a flower. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn. Now you can also just get a new piece of yarn and to sew this on, but I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to come back and then finish off the rest. So this is how I'm going to sew it on. Now you can do it however you want to, but make sure it's folded pretty good here, where the purple and the gray meet. Make sure that's folded nice and it's laying right before you start sewing it in, or it'll be off center basically. So I'm going to go in and out of these stitches here. Like this side here is a little wonky because we brought those stitches in. So I'm going to go in and out of these stitches, and I'm going to go around it. I know there's a name for it, but I don't remember. But I'm going to do it so that it's pulling around each of these stitches. And I'm just grabbing, I was out of shot, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm just grabbing yarn from the purple and going under that stitch, so that wherever I'm at, I find somewhere to go into the purple so that it's attached. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to go through this next one and come through here. So I'm just finding a place on the purple, and I tend to grab more than one strand of the purple so that it's nice and tight on there. I got one last here that I'm gonna do, and now, you know, instead of going back, I think I'm actually just gonna sew this in and tie off and grab another piece to go around here, because I don't want to go back across. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I wanted to sew in that end and I didn't want to make you watch me. So I'm going to take a little piece of the gray yarn and I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna start over here, and I'm gonna sew up the side and across till I meet here, and I'll sew in my ends. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll meet back up and we're gonna do the other side of this on this side, and then we're gonna make a flower to put in the middle. So go ahead and finish sewing this on. I'll finish sewing mine on, and we'll meet back for the next part. Okay, now we've got our side accent sewed on, and it looks weird right now, but once we get done, you're gonna see where it comes into play, how cute it is. So we've got this part on. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our second color again. I'm gonna put my slip knot on the hook. We are gonna look down here. Now, we worked this way before, we're gonna work this way now, okay? And I want you to skip 10 stitches. So just, or you know, these were chains, but just kind of eyeball it. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're gonna work into this next one here. So there'll be a little bit of a gap between these because we're also going to put a flower right here. So we're going to go into that 11th. We're going to pull our yarn through. Sorry, my focus is going out. We're going to pull that through and slip stitch. We're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do 20 single crochets again across. So 1, 2, this hat is moving all over the place. Okay, so just do 20 in a row across, and then we'll meet back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, now that we have 20 in a row, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we want to crochet across 16 so that we have 4 at the end to bring together. So we're kind of doing the same thing, but we're doing it opposite so that these both come in the same way. But this side's going to lay a little different too, and you'll see what I mean. So go ahead and do 16 across, and then put 2 together twice at the end, and we'll meet back. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we're going to put, if the hat would cooperate, we're going to put 2 together to start with. 2 together again, and then you want to finish out the row with just single crochets. So go ahead and finish out the single crochets and we'll meet back. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to go across till there's just 2 left and put 2 together. And we're going to do this for a total of 4 more rows. So you're going to go this way and leave 2 to put 2 together. And then you're going to turn around and put 2 together and come across. And then you're going to do that 2 more, you know, go across this way and come back 1 more time. So you want 4 rows more. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm looking at this, and this side is going to be folded a little bit different. We're going to match this side down here, and this is going to be kind of angled. So we need this to be just a tad longer. So I was trying to see how many rows we were going to do, but I think we're going to do like 4 more rows of the same thing. And I think that'll bring us down to a good point right here. Actually do 2 more rows and we'll see where we're at. So now we need to go back this way and put 2 together and then come back 1 more time. And then we'll see how it looks. I don't want to go ahead of you guys because I don't want to have to come back and tell you, you know. So we're going to do 2 more and see where we're at. If we need to add more rows, we will. I didn't write down how many rows I did, so I'm trying to just judge this a little bit. So go ahead and do 2 more rows. We'll meet back. Okay, we're also going to do this a little bit different than we did the other side. So what I want, this should be good enough. So what I want you to do is we're going to fold this side in half so that it matches this side to this side, okay? And we're gonna end up sewing this on this side, but we need to kind of attach all of this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out going in through this and slip stitch it, okay? And then I want you to turn it. So now we're looking at the purple, and we're gonna go in and we're going to single crochet across the purple, until we get to where the other gray is. Okay, you guys, when you crochet, do you crochet at a table, or do you sit and crochet kind of in your lap? Because I'm really liking making you guys tutorials, but it is so hard to work at this table and stay in shot. Like, I would much rather have some kind of setup where I could just sit and crochet like in my lap, because I'm always going out of shot for you guys and stuff, because I want to pull it close to me, and the way I'm sitting, you can't. So when you come around to where you meet the gray, you want to go in that spot where the other gray is, and then we're going to try and get in, because this part's hard. You want to get in underneath where that's all sewed in, so that it's kind of all together, okay? And now what we're going to do is, we're not even going to chain one, we're just going to turn, because we don't really need a turning chain right now. And we're going to skip this first stitch here and just jump into the next, and we're going to go back over. Okay, now when we come this way, now you're going to notice part of this side is going to hang down. And that's what we want, because that's what gives it its asymmetrical look. This is going to hang down a little bit. So we're going to come in here. Now we're at the end. You want to go in here, and you want to come up the side of this. So you want to get into both sides of this and single crochet up the side of it. And then what I want you to do after, I want you to get in this corner here too. Okay? Now we're not going to chain one, we're going to turn. And we're going to go across one more time, and then we're going to, well, we're going to come back across another time, but I'm going to show you how to make this kind of go together when we come back this way. So you're going to skip this first stitch, and you're going to single crochet in the next and all the way across. Now this part that we're doing here is just a way to bring this together and give it a nice clean finish. The first time I made this hat, well, when I first came up with the concept and I made this hat, the first one did not turn out the way I really wanted it to, so I made some revisions, and I made one for a friend of mine that liked the hat. So I revised it and made her one, and it was red and black, and I'm telling you, you guys, it was gorgeous. Okay, so now we're gonna, from where we're at here, we're gonna jump down, and we're gonna go right into here where we slip stitched before, and slip stitch that. And we're not gonna chain. I keep trying to turn and skip that first one, go in the next, and then go work your way across. Well, don't follow me because I can't even pull the yarn through. So we're going to come across I'm all out of breath, you guys. I'm going to take a minute here to say, if you're new to my channel or you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, because that would be so much fun for me. The more friends I have, the better. And at the end of this video, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And if you can, I'd appreciate if you give me a little share. Get me out there. Okay, now this is where I want it to be. Now, if you want to go back across one more time and slip stitch this together, you can. You don't have to. If you're going to finish like I did, you can go in here and slip stitch and then tie off. You don't need a whole long string like I'm doing. I'm just crazy, because you're just going to sew that in, because you can't sew this part in with that. So now you've got this part here that's going to hang down on the one side. If you want, you can fill this in with gray. You don't have to, but you can. It's not impaired, you know, it doesn't really matter, because you can leave a little bit of that purple out and it would look very cute. So now remember, this is actually the front of the hat here, okay? Like this will be the back of your head. So that's why this doesn't matter too much. This was just so that it didn't lay weird. And like I said, you could always come here and attach this and come across here and go all the way across and attach it here. I'm actually thinking about doing that, because this hat is so much thicker than what I made with the other ones. So it's up to you guys. I'm going to take my needle and some yarn and I'm going to finish sewing this on. You just want to get it so that it matches up with this and it comes this way, so that this is to a point here. So go ahead and sew that on. I'm going to sew mine on. We'll meet back and I'll decide what I'm going to do with this part here, and then we'll make the flower and attach that and we'll be done. So I'll meet you back. Okay, I've got it all sewed in, and now this will lay like on the side. This will be over your ear basically, and then this side will sit on your head right above your ear. And we're going to add a flower right here in this area. So you can make it in any color. I thought about doing it in like a deeper purple to add to it, but I'm just going to do it in this gray. Let me get some of this out of my way. So for the flower, now honestly, you could put any flower in here and you could fill this whole space. You could make a big one and fill this whole space with a flower. This one I don't know is that big. It's big enough and it looks really nice on there. So what we're going to do for this flower is we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to go into the first one and slip stitch and form a ring. Okay? And we're going to chain 1. Now right into the ring, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to come right back down into this ring, and we're going to do a single crochet. Now you want to do that for a total of 6 times. So you want 6 of these loops basically. So we're going to chain 6 again. And we're going to come back down here and single crochet. Okay, so do that around, and you can move this around so that you have more room, and make sure you have 6 of these rings, and then we'll meet back. Okay, when you do your last chain 6, instead of single crocheting, we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Okay, and now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now in here, or around this chain 6 here, we're going to put 15 double crochets. So you're just going to go in here and do 15 double crochets. Well, you're not supposed to drop it like that. Okay, once you have 15 double crochets, pull this up a little bit. We're going to come in from behind this and come up through the middle, and we're going to grab this loop, pull it tight, pull it through to the back, and we're going to slip stitch. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2. And we're going to do that all over again. That's all you're going to repeat around every single one. And then I'll meet you back over here. Okay, once you get all your petals and you're on this last one, you still want to come through here from the back and pull this around and slip stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump over here and slip stitch, but we're going to slip stitch from behind because I think it'll lay better. Well, maybe not. Let me see what I want to do here, because this, I want this to still pull over. So yeah, you could slip stitch it regular and the petals all lay there still. This is just a little far over, but then it lays where all the petals are curling in. See? So you can slip stitch it regular into that first one, and then we will just tie off here. And then all I did to sew it on, I just take this middle one. I'm sorry, I'm still pulling on the string. I just sew this right in the middle here. See, and that does fill it pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I am going to sew just around this middle part and fill in that space with this flower. And it'll, I'm out of screen, sorry. So right in this, in between these two gray parts is where you want to sew this on. And just use this middle part, like sew around, go in and out around this middle part. And you can leave this hang down a little bit, or you can put it up a little higher. Kind of depends on your personal preference with this one. So that's it. You just have to sew the flower on, and then you'll have a hat. And I'm sure you'll see it in the thumbnail, because I have a couple pictures that I'm going to try and put together. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked this hat. You could always try it again with a thinner yarn if yours turned out thick like mine, because I did use a 4-weight on the other ones. They were just thinner. They were lighter weight 4s, so it turned out a little bit different than this one. It's still cute. I'm still happy with it. It's just not the same thing. So you could play with it and try some different things. I'd love to see them. Check out my Facebook group under the same name, Curiosity Crochet, and you can post all your projects there. I'd love to see what you're making with me. I also have an Instagram if you'd like to check that out. I post all my projects there too. And I like to, I always announce, you know, if it's for a tutorial or whatnot, I post it with the heading new video tutorial out. So you can always keep track there too. So I hope you guys are staying healthy and happy. I hope you're smiling, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.